Snake oil is a term used to describe deceptive marketing, healthcare fraud, or a scam. The entire COVID pandemic was a snake oil operation by definition, but now in the aftermath, with the profound loss of trust in allopathic standard medicine and physicians, we have supposed healthcare freedom heroes trying to sell cures for vaccine injuries, when no one really knows for sure what was in any given shot administered on any given day. Forewarned is forearmed. This is the Dr. Jane Ruby Show, and you're about to enter Truth in Medicine. Welcome to the Dr. Jane Ruby Show on this Thursday, May 25th, 2023. Well, it's been a while since I've done a Dr. Jane Ruby Show, and just like all the others, this one is dedicated to truth in medicine and medical education and edification so that you can keep yourself and your families safe. Many of you are familiar with the term snake oil. And you also understand that it means a fake medical product with promises that cannot be kept. And one other common trait to snake oils sales is greed and corruption. Well, many frontline doctors and others have developed new products, and while I certainly applaud that or any effort to get us off of the allopathic grid once and for all, it still has to be done carefully, responsibly, and it should be tested and based in traditional scientific scrutiny. That means using the gold standard for testing your new products, like a randomized placebo-controlled double-blind study, and then a proper analysis of the findings from that study, and a write-up that gets reviewed and scrutinized by a financially disinterested group of your peers. Well, the health freedom movement is no less vulnerable to the lure of fame and fortune. And so I'm urging you to take a closer look and to be careful before jumping in, or you'll be in the same place you were at this point in time, after the C-19 scamdemic, injured and potentially broke. But first, a little history. I think this is worth it. Where does the phrase snake oil come from? Well, snake oil salesman, a term now used to refer to frauds, grifters, peddling their fraudulent wares, came from Chinese laborers working on the first transcontinental railroad that used oils produced by the Chinese water snake, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and it was used to soothe sore muscles or treat arthritis. The problem was that the United States didn't have any Chinese water snakes, and the salesmen were just looking to get rich quick by brewing their own knockoffs of elixirs, and they had to make do with whatever resources or materials they had here. The rattlesnake, even if it didn't have the same medicinal properties. Eventually, alcohol, cocaine, and opium were added, and some of the ingredients that were added, to give the concoctions more of a kick. Soon, most snake oils contained no actual snake oil. No matter, though, the dazzling salesmanship made these things a great success. The fraud actually led to the enactment of the 1906 Pure Food and Drug Act and the creation of the beginning of the agency formerly known now as the FDA. As a brief disclaimer, I'm not accusing anyone directly, but I am asking the general public to look more closely. I'm asking you to take your time before you accept statements like, hey, this will cure your vaccine injury, or this will take care of your spike proteins. Let's go back to some basic premises, shall we? The SARS-CoV-2 virus has never been isolated in its pure and whole form from an ill individual. Yet something, of course, was perpetrated that caused people to be sick, and then to get them to belly up to take these fake fraudulent tests to keep using over and over again to verify that they had this mysterious illness, which then led them to belly up for the shots. But that particular virus has never been successfully demonstrated. So when people tell you that their product can isolate and then measure the activity of spike proteins and any difference, they can measure any difference in the behavior of these spike proteins due to their new product, you want to take a closer look. The public takes so much for granted. Simple as it sounds, people still believe something just because another person said it, especially someone who's medically or scientifically credentialed, or when they see it written in the media. So claims like spike protein management are ubiquitous right now across a large number of platforms and programs. But there is no valid, adequate scientific evidence that, first of all, they've been able to isolate and manipulate the spike protein so that then they could go on and measure any difference in its activity from something they're trying to sell you. If you haven't isolated that whole virus, how do you know you have the spike protrusion coming off of it, the supposed antigen in front of you, and that you're able to measure a difference using your new concoction? Well, lots of controversy recently around a supplement called Nattokinase, an enzyme that comes from Japanese food called natto. It doesn't look very pleasant here in this picture with the stringiness, but it's made from boiling soybeans that were fermented with a particular type of bacterium. Now, take a look at this particular picture. As I said, it's kind of stringy and ugly and, the strings coming up, but they actually sell this bacteria as a fermenting element on different, programs and platforms and websites on the internet. This nattokinase has been shown to interfere with fibrinogen, an element in your blood clotting process. So it stands to reason that it may have some anti-clotting, blood clotting properties. But in my estimation, studies so far are not robust, they're incomplete, and they just don't robustly demonstrate this blood clotting, anti-clotting effect. And I would urge caution for anyone, especially who might want to use this product, to check first with your trusted healthcare provider, especially if you have a pre-existing clotting or anti-clotting condition, right? It can be synergistic with other things like prescription anticoagulants and things like that. Nothing unreasonable about that. In this next picture, this is a page, this is the title page actually, rather, to a study called the I Recover study from the FLCCC organization, which stands for Frontline Critical Care Organization, started by one of the frontliners, Pierre Corey. Now, picture 2 is their table of contents here, talking about complications and injuries caused by the COVID injections. Fair enough. Treatment approaches, baseline testing, all still rooted in standard allopathic test approaches, which usually come up negative of any real information relative to the shots. That's part of the problem, right? So, and they've got here post-COVID vaccination injury. They've even got clinical phenotypes of the vaccine injured. That's interesting. And they go into frontline therapies. Let me read through some of these. And you can kind of look along here because I've got the page up here for you. So some of the frontline therapies, intermittent daily fasting. Okay, that's kind of general, but I'm all for that. I've lost about 7 or 8 pounds so far in the last month just doing intermittent fasting. Big fan of it. They list ivermectin, moderating physical activity. Not sure what the connection is there, but doesn't hurt. Low dose naltrexone. That's interesting. Naltrexone. Okay. Used in opioid addiction. Not sure what the connection is there. Melatonin. Not sure what the scientific connection is there. Methylene blue. Sunlight and photobiomodulation. Resveratrol, which is a potent antioxidant. Probiotics and prebiotics. Okay, so a lot of that is very general, though. I don't have an issue with most of that for general health, but when you couple it, with claims, then they have third line therapies. I'm not sure what happened to the second line. You've got first line, all the things I just read to you. and then it jumps to third line. Okay. Oh, adjunctive. Second line therapies, third line. I urge you to look at this document yourself. I don't have the time to go through the entire document in a show, but I want at least you know it exists, right? Other potential treatments, and a lot of these guys overlap with each other, okay? So they've got each other's protocols wrapped in here for credibility. Disease-specific therapeutic adjuncts. Okay, they've got neuropathies, general neurological issues, depression, vaccine-induced myocarditis. Okay. Bell's palsy. Look, I'm not arguing about that all of this could be coming from these injections. These are bioweapons. These are designed by their very nature to injure you, to hurt you, to permanently disable you so you cannot work, so you cannot procreate anymore, so that you can't walk across the room without having shortness of breath. Okay? Okay. But let's not take it and say, oh, without doing the standard scientific studies, let's not take it and say, these are, your panaceas, right? Okay. So there just appears to me to be a lot of scientific leeway, let me tell you. Picture 3 is a table of their suggested therapies. You can look down through this. We can scroll through this table a little bit. They don't say on here what they're for. They're pretty careful. They know they should be, but they're giving dosages for these are basically vitamins and supplements, no problem, including the natto. And I'm not picking on this organization. There's a lot of good that they've done. In fact, I've recommended FLCCC many, many times, especially in 2021 and 2022, for people to get different help on a number of areas. And one of the other things I really liked about Dr. Corey's organization was, I don't know if they still have it, I haven't looked in a while, but they had a list state by state of doctors who are able to treat across state lines, who would prescribe ivermectin and HCQ, and kudos to you all for that. Awesome. So I'm not picking on them, but I do have a problem with anyone who's in a position of scientific or medical authority that makes the claim that these, supplements or somewhat disconnected, if you will, concoctions are for spike protein management, when I know further up the food chain, we haven't isolated the virus. So how can you take something that sticks out of the virus, the corona, right, the spikes, and isolate it and then measure its behavior in the presence of your innovation? Picture 4 is a copy of the version, one particular version. I'm going to jump now to a friend of Dr. Peter Corey's. This is Dr. Peter McCullough's treatment protocol. Take a look here. It's his protocol for COVID-19 or COVID-19-like illnesses. And I'm not sure what that means. I think I'd like to have that clarified. But what bothered me from the beginning about his various versions of this algorithm is if you look in the middle section here, let's scroll down and a little bit to the right, and you zoom in. Maybe we can zoom in on that. I'll give my producer a chance to get that going. He has Pfizer's Paxlovid. To my knowledge, to this day, it's still there as a recommendation. Paxlovid, let me refresh your memories, that has 2 antivirals in it, one of which, ritonavir, that has a black box warning, the highest warning for danger the FDA can confer on a drug, because it has serious drug-drug interactions and can cause serious damage to the liver, not to mention other organs. And if you can believe that. And until recently, he had Merck's antiviral molnupiravir. I think he was shamed into removing it because there was a lot of information coming out that this drug has a lot of issues and problems. I mean, Paxlovid is, remember Rebound, COVID, whatever that was. But these are not decent drugs. Why would anybody promote or encourage or put in a treatment protocol Pfizer and Merck's medications? If they don't get you with the shot, they're going to get you with the oral medication. These are very concerning to me as a healthcare provider. a prescriber, someone who is highly trained. And another warning I want to give the general public is that there is some controversy going around, that claims are being made out there that the mRNA from the C19 bioweapon shots actually jumps from the injected to the uninjected. I get a ton of questions on that in my Telegram channel, t.me/Dr.Jane Ruby, and in my Twitter channel, Real Dr. Jane Ruby. Many questions. Is that true, Dr. Jane? Or is the mRNA itself jumping? Are we vaccinated if we are exposed to someone who was injected? And oh my gosh, it's not a vaccine. You're not getting vaccinated. But I know what you mean. Am I getting injured? Am I getting something conferred over to me? Yes, you are. But we don't know exactly what that is. Okay? But certainly the mRNA, it can't even live outside of the lipid nanoparticle. And we know from the Swedish study that the mRNA gets into your cells and your cells' nuclei within a matter of hours. So it's not going to jump out of there unless it, buys a ticket to a lipid nanoparticle transporter to get out. I mean, I'm being a little facetious, but you get the point. And that is so ludicrous on its face. There's no scientific evidence of that the mRNA jumps from the injected to the uninjected right now. But we do know that something transfers, as I said. We still need to verify it. It's what's called shedding symptoms. But making a product claim based on the statement that mRNA jumps from the injected to the uninjected without showing that evidence is, to me, where you're getting into dangerous territory and close to where the lines of fraud are drawn. Unless these premises are proven, the claim is invalid. And that's where the snake oil comes in. Do these supplements, the vitamin D and the vitamin C and the NAC and all that, have value? Of course they do. Anything that helps support the human immune system, antioxidants, or that could prevent clotting in a disorder that causes clotting has value. But let's keep it straight. I want to thank my sponsor before we go to the break, Goldco. Really happy to have Goldco as my continued sponsor. They've stayed with me from day one. They've been with the Dr. Jane Ruby Show since its original launch in January 2022. They've been helping people protect their investments and their savings with physical gold and silver for years now. They have very positive client ratings, Better Business Bureau ratings, and they've placed over $1 billion in physical gold and silver. You do need to diversify, and you need something tangible. So give my buddies over there a call and learn more at 855-791-2619, or go to their website you see here listed on the screen, goldco.com/Dr. Jane Ruby. That's goldco.com/Dr. Jane Ruby. When I return, I'm going to give you some critical medical news updates that you really need, and I'll show you how the danger of this current border invasion of the United States is not only putting our country at risk for all the reasons you can think of, but also what it means to real public health and what these people are bringing in to our country. It's a tragedy. I'll be right back. I've been promoting the Triad Air purification products for over 18 months now. First, because they're incredibly effective at cleaning and maintaining the air in your home. But after hearing from thousands of people in my social media that they've experienced relief from the symptoms they previously suffered around people who took the jabs, I had to get the word out. This electrostatic filtration process cleans every area of your home using a pulse negative ionization that actually electrically charges the air molecules, maintaining a cleaner, fresher breathing space. The big home unit protects up to 3,000 square feet, and the individual products keep your car, hotel room, or your personal space protected. Go to airwaterhealing.com today, and if you use the promo code RUBY, you'll not only get 10% off and free shipping, but right now you will get the other 3 products for free. Don't miss this great offer. Go to airwaterhealing.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere My Pillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have My Pillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing My Pillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Welcome back to the Dr. Jane Ruby Show. I'm very happy you're with me tonight. In the last segment, I want to cover some medical news because I think it's really important for you to stay up on this and understand certain connections. First of all, while I've talked about it before, please be aware of the fact that right now, all injections that are referred to as vaccines most definitely have this dangerous mRNA material in them. And please be aware of the newest versions coming out as supposed combination vaccines. That is like a mixture supposedly of RSV, the common cold, seasonal flu, and of course the beloved COVID-19 boosters. They're putting them in different measures and concoctions, and they're calling it a combination for your convenience so that you don't have to go and take 2 or 3 shots. You can just get all of it at once. And God only knows, let me tell you, what the material is that's in there, number one, what the amount, what the strength, if it is mRNA, you don't know. Nobody knows. Prove me wrong, somebody. I would love it if somebody would prove me wrong. There's no way. There's no way. There's only one way that I would go about doing it. Oh yeah, if I was a senator or a congressperson who wasn't bought and paid for, like every single one of them, I would have hauled these companies in, tied them up for years in investigation. You know how to do it. Come on, you guys know how to do it. Did it with Trump for months and months and months, and other people you didn't like, right? Tie them up in discovery. Make them bring out their documents over and over and get real citizen scientists to come in and scrutinize it. But no. So getting back to the point, my recommendation is to stop right now, if you haven't already, all infectious disease, vaccine injections, called vaccines or called anything else for that matter, until further notice. The companies, in particular, Pfizer and Moderna, have publicly come out and stated that this is true. Don't take my word for it. Go to their websites, go online, put their names in, put video. You'll see tons of discussions they've had on these financial morning shows in mainstream media where they said, sure, we're going to have mRNA in everything. It's a miracle. It's a wonder technology. Yeah, it's a wonder if you're trying to, triple ramp up aggressive new rare cancers. If you're trying to kill off 2/3 of the population, it's wonderful. It's incredible at what it does. So, secondly, I've reported, let's move on to the next topic. You get it, okay? Just don't take anything right now. Let's move on. I've reported on the toxic spray called Apeel, Apeel, a company by the same name, as I've told you, it was started by Bill Gates, okay? So please, everybody get it, okay? He gave James Rogers in 2012 the first $100,000 grant. That's like a vacation for him, right? And then he ended up crowdfunding or whatever, venture capital funding, whatever it is. I'm not a financial expert. Another $110 million for this company in 2012. Guys, they've had over 10 years to put this together, okay? So supposedly to protect the freshness of your food. Call me crazy. I don't want the freshness of my food. When my food is done, shelf life, I want to know about it. I want to see the rotting and the mold growing, because then that's That's my visual for my cue for, what? This thing is breaking down in the inside as well. Nothing lives forever, including fruits and vegetables. I want to know when the fruit has gotten to that point in its life cycle. I don't want to have a phony protective coating that makes it look gorgeous on the outside. Remember the Twinkie? Yeah, it's got so many preservatives in it that when somebody like 20 or 30 years ago took the wrapper off, put the Twinkie on his bookshelf, 20 years later it was perfect, looked the same, no change. You want to eat that? Even the cockroaches, the ants, the worms, nothing ate it. Even the mold didn't want it. No, you don't want something that keeps the look. It's not keeping the freshness. It's keeping the look of it. Well, so here's the medical news update. We now know that this toxin, Apeel, that you spray on that cannot be washed off, cannot be scraped off, and yes, it does seep into you through the skins into your fruits and vegetables. We now have reports, by the way, that the biggest purveyor of these sprayed Apeel fruits is Costco, Target, Walmart, all the big box distributors. But the reports are that they've been spraying it. It's just that the labels only in the last few years have been required to come out. And now we're trying to call attention to it. Please, don't throw it out. Take it back to the store and say, I'm not going to tolerate this. I want a refund. I'm not going to buy this anymore from you. And just know that you're going to end up with a lot of dangerous, junky fruit that nobody's going to buy. But they have been using it for quite a while. Who knows what effect that's had on diabetics, people with existing heart disease. Maybe this is to work synergistically with these shots, right? Imagine you're getting hit from multiple sides. I want to move on to the border invasion. We are under attack in this country. You may say, well, gee, Dr. Jane, what does that have to do with medical? And can you stay in your lane? And hey, my lane is as an American. And I don't have just a medical lane, but that's for another discussion another day after spending 10 years in D.C., working in the Office of Presidential Correspondence in the Trump tenure, the Trump administration. The point I'm trying to make is all of our lanes are as Americans. And the reason I'm trying to call attention, like many other great people, trying to get you to pay attention to the invasion of the United States. It's not hyperbole. We are being invaded. These people are coming in hundreds of thousands by the droves. Governor Abbott should be arrested. He's a disgusting rhino, puke, who's allowing this invasion to occur through the state over which he's the governor. These people are not screened for illness. They're not screened for firearms, as far as I know. They're given a baggie with ivermectin, a cell phone, and a plane ticket. They're purposely being seeded throughout the country. Use your imagination, folks. Not to mention the fact that, as I said, look, there's also evidence of trafficking, especially with children. Rape tree. I'll come up with a picture of that soon, too. Go look at Christy Hutcherson's work. A rape tree is where they strap women and children and repeatedly rape them over and over again like animals. They commit murder. It's a free-for-all out there. I want to call your attention to this picture, picture 1. Look at there's no screening. Look at this for disease or mental health issues. Why are they leaving their pacifiers and their children's underwear out in the area, just strewn around, right? This is a tragedy beyond all tragedy. These people are coming in with real diseases like tuberculosis, skin diseases, all kinds of things. Take a listen and a look at the evidence of what our good-meaning patriots, okay? Because you got the border. I'm not ragging on border security, but a lot of them are going to have to answer for going along, okay? Well, some of them are still trying to save our country. But there are a lot of good patriots out there. I want to shout out to Michael Yan, investigative reporter, wartime correspondent, an incredible human being and patriot, and his group of compadres. Take a listen to the evidence they're just stumbling on out there near the border, the evidence of trafficking. Take a look at video 1. Please roll the tape.
What do you got, Antonio?
As I started taking this off to the side, you start seeing that they had more babies right across from the other side. So we have stuffed animals, little girls, clothing here, with little girl blankets, little girl pants. Dude, look at the size of these pants, man. These are newborns. These are newborns. No newborn should be out here like this. We got Cheez-Its, napkins, little girl jacket, little kid toys, a pacifier, another one. Look at this,
How many babies are they bringing in? I mean, there's so many children's articles all over the place, and many of the camps.
Look at this. This is for a baby. That's for a child.
This is tragic, and it must be stopped. And if you don't get emotional seeing that and understanding what that is all about and what's happening to our nation, please be aware that there are many Americans down there, like Dr. Pete Chambers, Christy Hutcherson, her team from Women Fighting for America, that are trying to stop this. Some people are discussing the crimes being committed down there, allowed to happen by public officials. There's a lot of discussion, there are a lot of plans being made right now to potentially arrest these people, to hold them accountable. The people have had it. We the people have had it. And they've compromised the courts, they've compromised some law enforcement, they've compromised a lot of aspects that should have been able to shut this down and never let it happen to begin with. But we the people have had enough, and there have to be other activities and other efforts instituted, and that's what's being developed right now down there. So if you have a favorite like Dr. Pete Chambers or Michael Yan, please support their work. Go to their websites, whatever they have on their social media, and support them, because they're putting their lives on the line for this country, along with military vets and vets that were kicked out for not taking the shot because they were smart enough to avoid it. These people are all good Americans. They're coming together. More on that in my subsequent shows. Lastly, before I close out, I want to talk to all of you about the new website for drjaneruby.com. I'm really excited about this. It's been a long time coming. I don't want to talk about the past and the negativity, but God always makes a way. When people hurt you, tear down your website, try to sabotage you, God makes a way. God always wins. Anyway, this has been a long time coming, as I said, and I want to thank the anonymous donors who made it happen. You know who you are, and I'm very grateful, because this is an incredibly new and very rich website, rich with resources and pieces to it, and it's visually sumptuous. It's rich with resources for you, the American public, for all humanity around the world. Take a look at the gorgeous graphics, but what's more important are the tabs that you'll see when you click on them. A lot of it is, we're still filling in, but there's still a lot there already. Articles, FAQs, and other helpful information. The latest shows, and we have just a little more to catch up on, but there's a lot there already. So you have one repository, one place to go. It's absolutely beautiful. It's elegant and beautifully done. We're all very lucky and made better by this incredible work. I'm going to close once again with an appeal for your support. Please see picture number 3. This is our current flyer making people aware that Dr. Robert Malone, the self-proclaimed inventor of this mRNA technology, is actually suing me, Dr. Jane Ruby, for $25 million in defamation. Originally, he said he was suing because he was offended by insulting words, but subsequently he has posted a tweet in the public domain, which you can see in the middle of this flyer here, just weeks ago, when someone asked him on Twitter why he was suing Dr. Jane Ruby, and he replied, quote, "If I can win these lawsuits," and that's a big if, because defamation lawsuits are very hard to win, then this will hopefully have a chilling effect on the corporate media, internet, social media defamation business model that so many pursue because it's profitable. Well, in that tweet, in my personal opinion, Dr. Malone admits to using the lawsuit against me as an attempt to silence my First Amendment right to free speech and to free press, and to question medical and scientific authority. We're filing a counterclaim, I want to announce, for what's called a SLAP, and it stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. I ask you now for your help, for your donations, and your prayers by going to givesendgo.com/protect Dr. Jane. That's givesendgo.com/protect Dr. Jane. And help me carry this torch to the finish line. And I'm going to close with this promise to you, to my benefactors, those of you who have given, those of you who are about to give and will give. Should I win this counterclaim, my lawyers have advised me that the judge can sign an order for Malone to repay my legal fees in their entirety. And I promise to all of you that if that happens, I will direct Give, Send, Go to return every dime of every donation to you, my donors. We stand together in this. Thank you. That's it for tonight. Have a blessed evening. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America. Good night, everyone.